You're live. All right. What's up, guys? When's the last time I did live? I said I was going to do every day, and it's been 2 months.
That's practically the same.
Yeah, I've been pretty. I'm going to do a discipline consistency video soon about how to blow up your YouTube channel by posting one time every month.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I mean, the problem is I got to a point where I was able to coast because I was getting so many views thanks to Penguin Zero.
Yeah. Did he really drive you that much traffic?
Yeah, it's my views have doubled since then. Still.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm getting 3,000 views passively, and it was 1,500 a day before, without having to post any new videos.
Just one guy talking shit on you.
Yeah, you gotta get some people to talk shit on you too.
Dude, I'm trying my best to be a douchebag.
It's day game in New York. You'll get a lot of rejections, but there's infinite volume, so ultimately it's better than most cities. Okay, so the topic at hand, I have a confession to make. I don't think I'm even good enough to be a dating coach anymore. I'm going to be honest. I might have to quit. I might have to retire because I only pulled 4 girls this week. Only 4. And I feel like I'm really slipping, and you as well. It was either 3 or 4. I don't remember exactly, but it was either 3 or 4 girls that you pulled this week.
Yeah, it was 3. Yeah, I pulled 3.
That's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, most guys, I think the average is like, what, 7 a week, 8 a week, 2 a day, 2 a day. We're just not trying hard enough. And I think we should give up.
Yeah.
I think we should quit.
Every other day is like too little.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking pathetic. And even worse, we've been rejected in the last week. At least, well, me, I don't know if you've been rejected, but I've been rejected, I don't know, 70, 80 times. 70, 80 girls were not interested in talking to me that I approached. You know, some of them even were like, fuck off. Some of them were like, where's the cute guys? I heard that one. That one's a memorable one. Wait, one girl's like, yeah, where's the cute guys?
Somebody said that?
Yeah. Someone said, where's the cute guys?
They come running to me. I'm like,
and then you pull them. No, yes. That would be hilarious.
Come to me, baby.
And then you pull them. But no. The reality is, like, that's pretty normal. We know a lot of guys who are pulling multiple girls per week. We had one friend who pulled 2 girls the other night at the same time. And we've seen this. We have one friend who's dating a model and another girl at the same time. That's all very normal in our circle, in the people we hang around with. The problem is most men, that's not their circle. They're isolated. Yeah. They're by themselves. They surround themselves with loser fucking friends. And so to them, what's normal, to me, I almost feel 4 girls in a week. Am I even trying? Am I even doing game? Yeah. But for a lot of you watching this, 4 girls in your lifetime would be an accomplishment, right? And that's one of the couple things we want to talk about. One is you have to have a different mindset as what's normal. Right? The default of what's normal in America among men right now is abject failure, right? It's being alone. No one gives a shit about you as a man. No one cares if you get laid. No one's going to feel bad for you if you're alone. I saw a clip on whatever where they talked about how men are touch starved. Like so many men, they don't even get to feel the touch of a woman like once a year. Right? They feel completely alone, completely isolated. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because it goes down worse and worse and worse every week. That you don't meet a girl, that you don't get a date, you feel more depressed and it's harder to go out and it's harder to try. And then you lose friends. Like you're not going to have any cool friends if you're one of these people, right? You're not going to have friends that are going to, the people who like us are not going to want to be around those people.
Yeah. Well,
unless you pay us.
It's there's a term for it. What is it? It's the winner
crabs
effect.
In a bucket. Oh yeah. That's the two opposites.
Yeah. So the winner effect is the idea that the more you win, the more options you get. So if I ever
is there a loser effect?
Yeah. Oh, I imagine like the more you like, so it's both sides are a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. So the act of losing and losing and losing is going to cause you to believe you're a loser, which is going to cause you to take loser pathways, loser.
Surround yourself with more losers.
Exactly. Well, like attracts like as
That's
well.
What's going to resonate with you.
Exactly. A lot of people want to watch some guys who are very negative on YouTube. They want to watch guys who are maybe even putting out very like low quality content.
And then they become your crabs in a bucket.
Yeah.
right? They tell you it's hopeless. And the problem is people don't realize this. We think that's what something becomes popular because it's true. That's a bias we have.
Mhm.
Do you know the term? It's argument ad populum is the fallacy, but there's also a bias about because I think it's the bandwagon bias or something like that. If something is popular, we assume it's correct.
The popular fallacy or the
Something like that.
yeah.
So it's something we all have imprinted in our brains. If something is popular, we assume it's true. And what's going to be more popular? Things that tell you you should take action, that you should do things that are hard, that you should grow as a person, or black pill saying it's hopeless. I did a face rating and you're a 5 out of 10. So cold approach is never going to work for you. Don't even try, little bitch. Don't even try. What is easier to believe? It's the second, because that takes away effort. And another bias we have is we don't like effort. The brain is always looking for ways to conserve energy. This is a well-known psychological fact. It's a neurological fact that we try to avoid effort. And you have to realize that you're going to gravitate subconsciously towards anything that lets you avoid effort and that lets you, and that's why those things are going to be more popular. That's why the black pill is going to blow up. And you can think, oh, it's because it's true. It's because it's true. Is it because it's true? Or is it because it's easier to believe?
But only so many people can win. Not everybody's capable of it. And if everybody was trying to win, it'd make it a lot harder for everybody else. So if everybody was trying to actually work at this stuff, it'd be harder for everybody that was trying to figure it out. Then there might be a lot less in the way of like of ways or avenues for people to get good at this. Not everybody is allowed to, and not everybody can win. So it's actually
in a way, it's a good thing.
In a way, it's a good thing. It makes it easier for
if you're
else.
one of the ones who's able to see outside the box, though.
Exactly.
That's the problem, because most people are going to get caught up. It's like a magnet. Most people are going to get caught up in the gravitational pull of all the people having these negative beliefs and all these people being hopeless. And it's like, oh, you're going to get me too just for talking to a girl. You're going to get canceled. You're going to get a bad rep. All these things.
Yeah.
It makes it so easy to fall into that. But if you're one of the people who don't, that's why I know 4 a week is not that good. I know 3 a week. I mean, it's not great, but that's what happens when you genuinely try. That's what's possible if you genuinely try. And that's half the equation, is realizing that you have these beliefs that are because everyone surrounding you, the culture surrounding you is negative and is telling you to not try. My mom, okay, I'm not going to say that specifically, but everyone around me, when I started a YouTube channel, told me I was going to fail and that I was never going to make any money and that there was no point in even trying. But I didn't believe what those biases said. I understood that there's a bias there and was willing to go against those biases. And you have to be aware that we are sucked towards failure. Failure is the natural direction that we're all going to head in. And going against that is actually very difficult.
Yeah. It's human nature just want to try to conserve energy.
I think failure is human nature. I think the default is failure in every area of life because we're instinctually lazy. We're not nearly as smart as we think we are. No. The truth is, we can see how other people are stupid, but we can't see how we're stupid. It's easy. Like if you're a Republican, you can be like, oh, those Democrat idiots. Guess what? Democrats see the same thing about Republicans, right? But if you're unbiased, you can say, actually, they're all kind of stupid and they're all kind of biased. The truth is never that simple. And if you're able to part away from the herd mentality and actually think for yourself, that's when you're able to change. And then the other thing that I think is just as important is we get rejected in 1 week more than most of you watching this have gotten rejected probably in your entire fucking life. Probably true, right? Yeah. I got rejected plenty of times last week, but I know that every rejection leads me closer to the girl that I actually do have chemistry with. And I realize that failure in any area is the path towards success. The more you're failing, the more likely you are to succeed. So if you haven't pulled 4 girls this week, the reason is almost certainly because you also haven't gotten rejected by 80 girls this week.
Well, to be fair too, you honestly haven't been. So the way that we game isn't really super rejection based, honestly. I mean, we make friends with a lot of people. I've seen you reject a lot of girls too this week.
Yeah.
But to get to this point, though,
technically that could be a rejection too. When I rejected the girl, there was some
you don't like,
some I'm not very nice to, but you know, if a girl within 2 minutes she asked me to buy her a drink, I'm gonna reject her because I'm not into that. That's just bullshit to me, and she's trying to use me. And even if she does like me, I don't want to be used that way. I just don't find it attractive for it to be transactional, the relationship or the whole interaction. So I'll reject them. I'll ask if they're a feminist, if they believe in gender equality, and then go down into a little kerfuffle about that, a little argument about that. But I reject women all the time, but that's still a rejection. Technically, it's still an approach that didn't lead to sex,
Well,
right?
people that like count their approaches versus like rejections are honestly just all right. The guys that do that are always the ones that get rejected a lot. It's not the cool guys are not the ones who are like another one for the wins, another one for the losses. If you're that guy's doing that, you're putting your energy in the wrong place, and you're also you're too much of an engineer. The engineers, there's a reason why engineers don't get fucking laid. It's because they don't have any social intelligence. They're like ones and zeros. And then when I try to explain to them like empathy and talking to people like people, making friends, like why would I make a friend? How is this tact? How is this like tactically sound? And I'm like, the reason that the way that you're saying that is the reason you're not getting laid. The reason you're saying that is why no girls want to fuck you or talk to you. Is you're like, hello, object. How can I manipulate you into liking me or wanting to fuck me?
I mean, that sounds good to me.
This might be too advanced for some of you guys to even understand this, because you guys are looking at us like the robots on YouTube that give you the information that you want specifically. And cool. But you guys need to learn some social intelligence, and some of you guys are just emotionally dumb. And like that's why the girls don't want to fuck you.
Well, and the other part of being emotionally dumb is not being willing to go through some hardship.
That's true.
Right. Being resilient
Avoiding
as well.
it.
So that when I'm talking about getting rejected a lot, I mean, you don't have to count the number of times you get rejected, but every time, the amount of times you've gotten laid versus the amount of approaches you've done, no matter what, is going to be higher, the amount of approaches you did, right? You're going to get rejected a lot. Most of those rejections, I don't remember them. I don't care about them. If I had a night, let's say the other night, a couple nights ago, when I pulled a girl I really liked, I don't think I remember any of those rejections specifically, but I know they happened. Right. I know there were rejections, but that night I literally, if I try to think, that's the only thing I remember from that night is meeting the girl I liked and then certain other things that happened, with her. I remember that. I remember, I'm not gonna talk about anyway about the periods, but anyway, I remember you have to have ways to deal with periods. But anyway, I remember that, but I don't remember the rejections. That fades away, and a lot of people, they're not trying hard enough to where they get any successes, and so all they see is rejection. And I think that's a big part of a lot of people. They half step it, right? So they do one approach, they do two approaches. I've surveyed, like I asked guys, like how many approaches you do tonight? Guys who are new, it's like 2 in the entire week, in the entire month.
Well, one of the biggest mistakes I make with clients and with and people make oftentimes on a boot camp is that I push them too hard too fast, and then what happens is they blow out. So what happens is it's not even like that's very conscious either. It's that they'll come with some dumb reason for not doing it. It's like my ears hurt, or oh, my hernia is acting up, or oh no, all of a sudden I have to go to this event. I just completely forgot about it. If I don't work on it this weekend, it's not going to get done.
Well, that's actually another thing to be aware of, right? That's going to happen, right? And it happens to me. I have those thoughts too, right? If I'm in a bad mood, I'll think, oh, this venue sucks. I don't see any girls. It's 80% guys. And I'll try to leave.
And then like the problem is that you guys think that you guys understand yourself completely. If you think you understand yourself completely, you don't know yourself whatsoever, and you're absolutely getting fucking pimped.
You got to be aware of your own lack of self-awareness, and you got to be able to question your own thoughts, which is partly why meditation is useful. But in general, anytime you have a thought or an excuse, this is actually an exercise I've done that's helped me massively with anxiety. I got it from some book, but I tell myself I'm having the thought. So if let's say I feel like I get anxiety sometimes, and I'll be like, let's say I have a headache, and I'll be like, I'm having the thought that I'm about to have a stroke. But when I tell myself it's the thought, then I get distance from it.
Yeah.
Right. So being aware that it's a thought and that thoughts are not reality. So if you can separate from all these thoughts, and this includes the thoughts that I'm not good looking enough. Look, I'm sure you've seen a club, like some 6'6" guy gets approached by a girl or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not 6'6" and I didn't get approached, and it's not fair. And then it's very easy to get.
Yeah.
And this happens to everyone, by the way. Probably even the 6'6" guy, there's some like 6'1" guy that gets approached, and they're like, it's because my personality isn't good enough to get approached. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to be aware that all your thoughts are pretty fucking stupid. They're mostly wrong, and they're mostly based on emotions. They come from the amygdala. They come from the parts of your brain that is trying to survive and that has fear, and it's trying to prevent you from getting out of your comfort zone and prevent you from taking action. It's very good at that job. But if you're aware of it and you can say, you know what, that's just a thought. What is the smallest action I can take in the right direction? So it might be just walking around the venue. It might be saying hi to someone as they walk by. It might be dancing. It might be going to the dance floor, just having fun to, just to get out of your head. But taking some small step towards taking action instead of believing your thoughts, that's really what holds people back.
Also, like, so we're trying to be pseudo intellectual versus actually. So sometimes too, people will kind of get their own way. They won't think critically because they kind of get stuck in the mud about a certain way of being. So you're like, this is what actually matters. And then you guys are not ever actually listening to anybody else. You guys are like trying to poke holes in an argument that might be contrary to your own, as opposed to actually thinking it through. And I'm saying this because I do see a bit of action over here in the comments, and I've been reading it here and there. You guys are not even open-minded about.
I cannot read that.
You guys are not even being open-minded about a different way of being necessarily. I mean, if it's working for you, hell yeah. But if you don't like where you're at, maybe you like try something a little different, bro.
Or, I mean, you have to be aware that you're not as smart as you think you are. That, I think, is the biggest awareness. That's the biggest advantage I've always had growing up, is that my parents or the books I read or whatever, I'd learned this idea that I'm probably wrong about a lot of the things I think. And so I don't really believe anything 100%. I don't think I have any belief that I'm like, I know for certain is true. Yeah. I have beliefs I'm more confident in, but I'm always skeptical of my own thoughts, and I try to get evidence. And that is what's led to, I know it's only 4 girls a week. That's not very good. Or 3 girls a week. I mean, bro, 3. The fuck is this bullshit?
Actually, I don't think I got rejected really. I think I got rejected probably by like 3 girls I'm thinking about.
I bet you don't remember the rejections.
That could be
because you've also, I remember once you said that you don't get shit tests, right? And I used to think the same thing. Yeah. I used to think I don't get shit tests. I was like, that doesn't happen. And then I got some infield of myself, and I saw the girl give me like 10 shit tests. And shit test is where she's like, you're too short, or you're too this, or whatever. She's challenging you in some way to make it seem like she's not interested. And I realized I was getting shit test after shit test after shit test. I just don't even see them because they're not part of my reality. I don't care about them.
There was one time in a bar where I was doing a boot camp last weekend.
Yeah.
I remember the girl was turning around as like I tapped her on the shoulder, and when she was turning around, I knew she was in a bad mood. So I just was like, I'm not in the headspace to deal with this. So as she was turning around, I actually turned to the left and talked to somebody else as she was turning around. Like, I just knew. So I think that's like, it's also a little bit of me just, just being experienced and knowing like.
Well, no, I do that sometimes too.
I just wasn't in the mood to deal with it. I was like, no.
I mean, you can sometimes, the more you do it, the more you can tell there's a girl that she's like waiting for her boyfriend, and you can tell by the.
Yeah.
But you don't do that when you're a newbie. When you're a newbie, you just go for it. But when you're more experienced, you can see, oh, this one's not going anywhere. This is because you've been through that situation 1,000 times. All right, I'm not going to like this girl. I can tell she's going to be a C word. So, but you do not want to do that as a beginner, because then you're going to get in your own way. So, you have any last thoughts? Why did you only pull 3 girls this week?
Fuck if I know. To be fair, like, I don't really have an answer for that.
I mean, what I notice is when you go in, you go in very strong. So, right, when you go in and you decide you want to pull a girl, you have decided you're going to pull her.
Well, the body language, I'm not half punching with my body language. I'm not being a bitch. Like, there's little ways that you could be a bitch about like the approach.
Proximity, you get in very close proximity. You're not shy about being physical.
I'm fucking her the entire time too. I'm not approaching her. Like, there's always intent, and it's not like, I feel like some guys there's a part of them that's afraid of the rejection, and so as they approach, they're like kind of like almost flinching in a subtle way, or they're trying to build rapport, or they're smiling like a bitch, instead of like being like in a way that's very just raw and like very masculine and very confident and cocky, which would be the optimal way of looking at a girl. If you guys are half punching, half stepping to a girl, obviously the girl's not gonna like you.
And that's what you don't do that. How do you usually? All right, so I don't see the whole interaction, but I see, okay, he's gonna pull, so I don't have a wing anymore. I see that. Like, that girl's in love with him. All right, cool. Now I gotta find my own girl. So I see that part, and then I see you leave with the girl. But how do you usually lead the interaction forward?
Well, I study body language myself in the mirror like a fucking psychopath. So like, I look at the guys that move and speak in a sexy way, and then I practice moving and speaking like them. So when I talk to the girl, I'm like, okay, time to turn it on. I turn on like a light switch, and I start like, giving her more of a cocky / seductive look. When I'm talking to her, I'm dragging the vowels. I'm like giving her more eye contact, I'm like expressing a little bit more, while also maybe sometimes leaving silences, adding like, I just know what I'm doing. Honestly.
But you also, I think you get them to pursue you.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the girl pulls you.
In my personality, in my head, I'm out of her league. and because I'm me.
Because you're a man.
I'm
And
just
it's just
no, I'm
women
me.
are because you're a man. And she's female.
Because I'm me. Like not even like that I'm a man, because most men are bitches. So
Because
I'm
you're
me.
you. Then there's men.
Yeah.
Then there's women.
Yeah. God, me, same level, and then like everybody else.
I mean,
Yeah.
that it kind of is the mindset to have.
Yeah,
I
it works
certainly
really
have.
well.
When you're really in the zone, it is almost how you feel. I mean,
Uh-huh.
as narcissistic as it sounds, you're like, I can do anything.
Yeah.
I am God. So, actually, there's something we disagree with here in a way, or we have a different strategy that could be. This is a whole different topic we could talk about. So we have two very different ways of getting in the zone when we go out.
Yeah.
So we have kind of contrary, opposite ways of getting in the zone, and this could be something useful for people to watch because some people are going to resonate with one and some people are going to resonate with the other.
Yeah.
Now, my way of getting in the zone is being social as possible and talking to everyone.
Yeah.
And just approaching everyone, talking to everyone, and building up. So
Yeah.
basically, my first approach is after I've been working, like doing something like this or being on client calls, I'm in a very logical mood. And the way that I get out of that, the way it gets the momentum, get into social momentum, is by I might do a couple approaches that are not that committed at first, right? A couple approaches. I'll just any girl I see, I just will try, talk to her, see what happens.
Mhm.
And then after I do a few like that, at a certain point, a flip switches in my brain. I'm like, you know what? Let's get some bitches, right? Or you know what?
Yeah.
Let's actually try to get laid.
Yeah.
Where I stop being in, my insecurities go away and I get more confident, and then I commit more and more over the course of the night. And I minimize the time between my interactions. I try not to spend like 10 minutes, 15 minutes just standing there. I try to push interactions further over the course of the night. So my first interactions might last 30 seconds, but then I try to keep it a few minutes. And then I try to make sure to lead the girl around, invite her to the dance floor, or at least get a number.
Yeah.
And then I go for the pull. And this, to be fair, there's also something called macro momentum. So this is over the course of a night, but if I'm going out regularly, I need to do that less. Right?
Yeah.
If you're going out every day, you don't really need to do that. But if it's
Yeah.
been a week or 2 weeks, then that's when I follow that process. But my strategy, there will be nights when I approach 30, 40 girls and get like 5, 10 numbers and then pull one. That's very common. That's my general strategy. And by the end of the night, when I do that, I feel extremely confident and having a lot of fun, don't give a fuck. And then you call it the validation or whatever, but I have all these leads as well. So I'm like, I know I have options. I get into more of an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
And that's my strategy, but yours is very different.
It's there's based on the same principles though. Action feeds ego, ego feeds action. So the actions you take build the personality that you have, which also drives the actions you take. So you can have a personality in an environment or a certain situation, but then that personality or that the person you are might change in a different one. So you're with your mom might change, by yourself might change, with your girlfriend might change, with your mistress on the side might change, and then you're eventually what you ultimately want to do, the way that you can take this is that when you go out, for me personally, I do try to take the same actions. I try to take in actions that lead to me being more extroverted, but I focus on even more minor things. So when I'm standing around with you guys, I'm focusing on relaxing, because relaxation is the key to getting into a good headspace. Relaxing is the way is like the core emotion.
And so how do you relax?
I just get present and I enjoy the music. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Maybe like I'll like take some cocky actions that to me are kind of
Blowing
fun.
smoke in a girl's face?
Yeah, stuff
for
like
example.
that. Yeah. Maybe like
Hypothetically.
I'll give little baby approaches here and there, but then I'll have moments of just relaxing and just being meditative. So like I'll feel myself getting like maybe a little anxious, and then I'll pull in, I'll just relax, hang out, just enjoy the music. Maybe listen to my own music, put my own headsets in so I listen to my own music. If I don't like the music they're playing, maybe I'll take a stroll and I'll make sure like, so I think a lot about my actions. So slow, languid, long steps, show strength and tell my internal self that I'm an extroverted person, giving people eye contact, doing my cocky stuff, giving people comments, people saying hi to me because they recognize me, high five them, shit like that. Then I go back into approaching again. And it's just like this, almost like accordion of expressive outward emotion and excitement, then relaxation, expressive outward momentum and excitement and relaxation. And I pulse like this until I get in the pocket. Then once I'm in the pocket, then it's pretty fucking easy. Then I'm usually just like talking to everybody around me, guys, girls, couples, everybody, which is again, like a lot of you guys who are in the pickup, you guys are like in the corner waiting for the hot girl to walk by instead of just like talking to everybody. Because
are you talking about any specific scenes you've seen recently with like 6 pickup guys all just like vulture?
Yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about.
We walked into the club one time and there was all these guys as we're walking in, just like standing by the door waiting like vultures
for girls to leave.
Yeah. And it's just like, it shouldn't look like that. Like that's not like how the cool guys are. And to mention too, you get in the state or the zone with anybody, you waiting there and being like, it makes you feel like a level of lack when you're waiting for one person to approach you. You're also afraid on some level somebody seeing you with a girl that's
Yeah, I
not
get in the
attractive.
zone with old ladies, and then I pull that. Wait, but no, that's true. You can get in the zone, and also you can get in the zone in one interaction too. That's another thing that people don't think about.
Mhm.
Like you can have one interaction
also
where maybe you feel
practice.
a little bit shy at first, but you just stick with the interaction and just push yourself a little bit over time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel a little shy about being physical, but okay. Oh, it's okay. I just can't. But that might happen. But then you push it a little further. Then maybe you you start being a little more sexual, and then over the course of an interaction, you can actually get in the zone. So it's not just mass approaching. There will be nights when, there are plenty of times where I pull the second girl I approach or the third girl I approach. That happens plenty, but those are two ways to skin a cat, if you will.
Yeah,
you can do
it's
either.
also the reason why I'm probably not getting rejected as much because I am just talking to everybody. Like my approaches are also guys and like people that are around me. Maybe remember when I talked to that one big group?
But guys don't have boobs. Why would you talk to
Remember
them?
that when I talked to that tall Asian girl with the side cut hair and then she was with all those CEO.
You didn't like her?
No, I liked her. I have her
I
on
was gonna say,
Instagram.
nice.
We've been looking at each other's stuff. I just honestly I forgot to text her. But yeah,
High quality problem.
She was with all those CEOs and stuff, and like those guys, and then I made friends with those guys. That wasn't us rejection because then you and Steven started talking to her, and like we were all just kind of like just molding and melding together. And then like at some point, they had to go to a table or something. Then we all just like split off. It wasn't even rejection. We're still talking. It's like a lot of our sets are like that, or just like us being outgoing and extroverted and talk to people, and then organically the conversations just end.
Yeah.
Or like we're not interested, or it's just something comes up. It's never like, honestly, I don't think we get rejected all that much unless we're going hard, which
well, it also depends. Okay, so I can tell which girls are going to be more receptive and which ones I can tell, but sometimes I'll approach the ones that I know are not going to be receptive just to face that, or just to face something where I'm probably going to get rejected, to get over my ego for one, and to get more icy. So I'll do that on purpose. I'll approach a girl that looks like she's at a table with 7 guys and it's a very bad situation, but approach anyway, knowing I don't expect to pull her, though occasionally it does happen. But because that helps me get in the zone. Facing rejection is actually one of the ways I get in the zone. So when I get rejected, because I naturally I have an ego. Every time I get rejected, I'm like, well, I can't, this image I have of myself or trying to put on a mask, I can't do it anymore. So I let go.
You're very the way you also get in the zone is that you do embarrassing things.
That's one that you love. Yeah.
I don't like it. Well, no, because a lot of my game is around relaxing. And so then you decide to start yelling or screaming or something like that, or doing some crazy
Mostly
shit.
just to mess with you, but yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I get in the zone by like becoming the popular kid in a venue, and then you're over here like, I'm not accepted by any of you, fuck you, faggots. And then I'm over here like, and here I was just trying to make friends.
So that's our 2 ways of getting in the zone.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest difference.
That's 2 general strategies. Now, to wrap this one up, what would you suggest someone who's new to game? Because a lot of people watching this, they've never been in the zone, right? So they're not in the same situation as us. A lot of these people, they've never been in the zone. They don't even know what the zone is. Anyone I bet who's black pill, I would bet there's 100,000% correlation with people who are black pill and they've never been in the zone when talking to women. So in the zone, meaning like you just feel really good. You're in a great mood. You feel your best. You're most confident. You're not overthinking. Your mind's just sharp. Yeah. Anyone who's black pill or anyone who hasn't been getting results that they're satisfied with, they have not been in the zone. I would guarantee that. I would bet money on that. So what would you suggest for people who are, they have not been in the zone, or it's extremely rare for them?
Give up.
All right. And that's the video. See you in the next one. No. Okay. But seriously, if you're someone who's brand new, what do you think is the best strategy for them?
You're not going to believe us on anything we say. So just get out there a lot and approach a ton, because you're going to feel it eventually. Just literally tell yourself, all right, take the strategy as if what we're saying isn't true. So what's the strategy if what we say isn't true? Some girl out there has to like you eventually. So go start approaching and try to work on anything you think you can improve. So work on your looks, work on your fashion, work on all the stuff, hitting the gym, work on the things that you think actually matter. And then what's going to happen is there's going to be some point where you
don't use those as rationalizations to not do the other things.
No.
Also, because some people, once I get a 6-pack, then I'll start approaching. You can go to the gym and go talk to girls. You just have to give up a little bit of, League of Legends or whatever.
Don't look at this as some reason for you not to go on approach, because if you use this as some reason to not go on approach, I mean, you deserve the results you're getting, honestly. But the way that I would put it is that, look, here's what you're gonna realize eventually. There's gonna be moments where you're in a really happy headspace and moments where you're in a really bad headspace, being mean to yourself, or negative about women, or whatever the fuck you're doing, or you're gonna be like, I just watched the new Avery video and I had to leave a mean comment underneath it and tell him how dumb he looks. Ha 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 ha. And then like you go out and now you're taking that negative energy with you, and you're like, all the girls hate me. Oh. Then one day you decide not to hit the online comment thing, or say that dumb fucking comment, and you go out and you find yourself being a little bit happier, and the girls start liking you more. And now guess what? Now you start realizing, oh wait, that's what state is. Oh, I don't know if I like that yet, because the girls aren't rejecting me like they usually do. Maybe I'll just like, even though I know that makes them like me, maybe a few more times I'm gonna be a little negative worm. And over time you're gonna have to weed yourself out of that need for rejection, which actually is a thing. Have you ever felt that?
To get rid of the need for rejection?
That I remember I started learning how to not get rejected, and instead of like allowing myself to get like, not be rejected by, feeling a lot better, I was like,
yeah,
maybe the first couple I'll get rejected on, just so I can remember how it feels. And then then I keep doing it. This is me about 8 years ago when I first started gaming.
Yeah.
I was like, it was about 3 years in the game. I started like 3 or 4 years in. I was like, I'm just gonna get rejected the first couple, and then like I'm gonna go back, and then I won't get rejected on the next ones. I won't, There's like some part of you that likes rejection. You start realizing,
but you become, it's subconscious for most people. But you see it with boot camp clients, especially their first approaches. So often they don't realize they're trying to get rejected.
They want to.
Yeah, they're putting on a mask. They are talking. They're not even being themselves, because they'll talk to us and be normal and be cool and charming, and then they go up to a girl and they're like, "Hi, it's nice meeting you. You're really cute. Bye." They just reject themselves, right? And they're like, she rejected me. I think it's because because you're better looking than me. Like, bro, I'll do the same thing and let's see how that goes. But then I do it and it's so funny. It still works because I'm clearly being sarcastic. I'll try to do a half-ass approach, but it still works. Funny enough. But when I'm not in the zone, if you're in a bad mood and you feel like shit, I've been there. You've been there. I've had nights where every single girl rejected me. And then I've had nights where literally no one would reject me, because I was just I was in a different wavelength.
There's this thing that I've kind of realized about going out that kind of really honestly solidified my beliefs for me. And it's this: I've never seen a guy move and speak in a way that I would consider attractive who then immediately got rejected. I've never seen that. I've never seen anybody have the right mindsets, the right movements, speech patterns, who looks socially aware, who is reacting to the girl in a cool, authentic way, and got rejected immediately afterwards. I've never seen it. And I've seen this with ugly guys and attractive guys. I've seen this with guys in the middle. I've seen this guy with guys who are paraplegic. I've seen this with guys.
Paraplegic. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We
can't say I've seen that one.
We had like a coach that was on crutches and in a wheelchair, and he was pulling all the time.
Man, I bet that sounds like the ideal coach in a way, but I bet that messed with people's egos so much.
Well, then everybody
that they like believed he was hiring hooker. Like they probably couldn't believe it. They're like floored, and just that would fuck with your reality too much to see that.
Initially, people start thinking it was hookers, but then when he proved it wasn't, then they're like, well, then he's just good looking. The guy in the wheelchair, was just good looking. No, he's a good looking guy. I'm gonna get canceled
for that face I just made. But he looks like Stephen Hawking, right? Like that's
he was like,
right?
He couldn't use his legs. His legs were like fucking like just shriveled. And but like everybody's like I was like, oh wow. And I was like, man, people do not like. Well, it's a common thing to want to. All right. The guy in the wheelchair is not on the same level as Channing Tatum. I'm sorry. Like not if looks are the only thing that matters. It's not. They're not equally as.
You say so.
It depends on your fetish.
Black pill saying that, but all right.
Apparently your fetish. But yeah, I mean, if you're moving and speaking the way that's sexy, girls are gonna like you. If you're thinking the way that's sexy, girls are gonna like you. It's not like, that's my 2 cents.
And people don't even try to do that. They don't even think about it. And they're carrying themselves and acting in such a way, if they had any self-awareness, seeing that they're just making themselves as small as possible, as shy as possible, or as overbearing sometimes as possible. And they immediately get themselves rejected because they have this mindset. And then they tell themselves, oh, no girls like me. And then they get themselves into a downward spiral where it just goes downhill. But the easiest way, I think, if you're stuck as someone you've never gotten momentum, you've never been in the zone, you just never had that experience, the easy ticket out of that is just to take a boot camp.
Yeah.
Because I've had so many clients, you've had so many clients who some were virgins and they lost their virginity, had their first threesome, pulled models. We have testimonials of all of these things happening.
Yeah.
We also have infield of some of these things happening. But regardless, we can, having that external leverage, having that extra push from the outside, and having skin in the game, right? Having skin in the game is enough to push you past your own limits, is enough to get you out of that cycle. And we know exactly how to get someone in the zone, how to get them to start having fun with approaching, how to take massive action, how to stop overthinking, because we've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for many years. We've had hundreds, thousands of clients. And so it becomes very easy when you take a boot camp to get in the zone, to have the best experiences you've ever had with pickup, to get more numbers, approach more girls, often pull, often get laid, that your mindset has a total shift. And as soon as you've been in the zone once, for me, it was the first time I got in the zone. That's when I became addicted to game. It's the first time I had a night where I felt like my ego was gone, right? Where I had an ego death moment, where normally my whole life growing up, my ego was always there. I was always thinking, do they like me because of this? Is my voice too high pitched? Am I too fat? All these insecure thoughts all the time. And it was through pickup that I had those first experiences where that went away and I was able to truly be myself. And when I did that, yes, I started getting girls, I started having success, but also my identity made a shift. And that's our job. That's what we teach you how to do on a boot camp. Now, I did it on my own. I didn't take a boot camp, but it took years to get to that point because there's so many blind spots. It's so confusing. It's so easy to give up. It's so easy to make excuses. When you have someone external give you that extra push, it's 1,000 times easier. So if you want to learn more about that and learn more about taking a boot camp with one of us, you can click the link below. You can also, I think for you, it's texting a number, right?
It's a phone number. Yeah. So you can go to Charisma King. That's my channel with the K, Karisma, King. You can also go to my Instagram, Las Vegas Lost Boy. Or you text me at 702-841-9909. Any of those four will do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll have a number below you can text me at, and then you can also schedule a call by clicking the link below. Yeah. Any final thoughts on this one?
Stop being a bitch.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you want to do one of your topics?
Sure. Why not?
Another good example of getting in the zone is I feel at the beginning of this live stream, you did not want to be doing it.
No,
I didn't really want to be doing it.
I'm not 100% there, but yeah.
But you're so much now. You're far more free flowing and having a good time. Taking action is like the cure to everything.
Yeah, well,
taking action is the cure to your excuses. It's the cure to anxiety. It's the cure to your actual money, all the external things. It makes everything better. And the more you're not taking action, that you're consuming, repressing, avoiding, that's what causes all of your fucking problems. All the worst times in my life, and I've had some tough times in my life. I've gone through some things. Those times were the times when I just caved in on myself and consumed. That's what led to those problems. And that got me out of the zone, out of a flow state, and into depression, right? Into overthinking, into your head, into the negative part of your brain. It just takes over. But when you take action, that's how you get out of that. And that's how you actually become the version of yourself that's the real me.
Yeah. Well, there's different versions of yourself. I don't think. Well, here, let's get into the
I'm going to do some Coke real quick to get in the zone. No, I mean Coca-Cola.
You still drinking that Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Is it flat by this point?
Yep.
Nice.
I don't care.
Okay. So the next topic we're gonna be doing is use these toxic masculinity traits to dominate women. Ooh, right. Danger.
Last video on the channel.
Yeah, dangerous.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. So the idea is like that. Women don't really know what they want. They really don't. Because they'll say one thing, but then they do another. But that's human nature. I think the toughest thing about being a human is just not really being aware of what you're what you actually want, and like kind of coming up to your own conclusions about reality and yourself. You think you understand yourself 100%. You don't know who the fuck you are. You don't know who you are, and if you never actually did any digging to think this stuff through, then you definitely don't know who the fuck you are. Like you're being pimped by yourself. So with that being said. This is what women are actually attracted to and what women actually want. Not like rough. They don't want the nice guy. They don't want necessarily even like this this they don't want a wuss. They don't want the nice guy. They don't want the guy that is not dangerous in any way.
They do want you to be dangerous. That's 100% true. But you
Mhm.
can control,
Control
right?
danger.
It's under control.
Yeah.
They've actually done studies. I'll see if I can link it below after. But
Mhm.
they've done studies where they've found that women find men with the traits, toxic masculinity traits,
I found
which
more
include
attractive.
things like, if you don't know, toxic masculinity is the idea that being stoic, which means not showing a lot of emotion, being in control of your emotions, that's bad for everyone. It's bad for men and it's bad for women.
Mhm.
Being dominant,
Yeah.
bad for men, bad for women. It's toxic. It's ruining society, having these men that aren't afraid and that are in control of their emotions and that are
Yeah.
disciplined, that are capable of getting things done,
Yeah.
that know what they want.
Yeah. Confident.
This is bad. This is bad. And you need to stop being that way. But they've done studies where they found women are more attracted to those men. And if you just look around you, like, which guys are getting laid, the ones that are dominant, that are in control of their emotions, that are leaders, the ones that make fun of women, all that kind of stuff, or the ones that are super polite, super respectful. They're always apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry if I offended you with my privilege, with my male privilege. I'm going to be in solidarity for your period, and I'm going to wear a tampon too of my butthole. The guys like that, which one do you think gets laid more? So in this video, we're going to teach you how to be toxic in a way that attracts women, and in a way, it's not in a way that's evil or manipulative or bad for women, but in a way that embraces the natural polarity between men and women, and that allows you to use that to have actually good, worthwhile, and mutually beneficial sexual relationships.
Well, here, let's jump into the first one. So, be in your own world. So, I've had so many clients where I'll tell them to do something or be a certain way, and what they'll end up doing is that they'll say first thing, well, what will people think about me? What do people think about me if I do this thing? Or what if I start taking this action that you're telling me to do? People are gonna start worrying or this or that. And girls want a guy with autonomy. Like, so if you're worrying what your parents think, like about some thing, like so you have to hide your bank balance because apparently your parents are still in your money for whatever reason. If you're still living with your parents, or let's say like you decide that you want to like, so I painted my two middle fingers. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I continue doing it. And then every time he keeps telling me like why, and everybody else keeps asking me why, I'm like, because I think it's dope. And you know what's funny? Everybody got kind of used to it and just allows me to do what the hell I want. You guys like, so like all my friends and everybody who meets me in person allows me to do these things. But on the internet, everybody comes through the fucking computer screen to be like, oh no, that's gay for you to do that. It's gay for you to do this. And I'm like, no, that's gay for you to do it. I do what the fuck I want. You know, that's the difference between like that's that toxic masculinity.
Like having sex with men. No, it's only gay if you do it.
No, it's basically, it's like you're not allowed to do it, but I am. And like that's the trade you have to
being
take
at
on.
the cause, not the effect of your reality.
I get
right?
it. I choose what's cool, not you. Like, not the girl. The girl's not gonna be like, oh, you look so dumb in that outfit. Be like, okay. Like, it's not her to decide if I'm cool. It's me, it's you. It's like you decide if you're valuable, you decide something's cool. It's not her. She wants the guy that decides that kind of stuff for her. It's a popular kid that makes everybody else around him like try to copy his style or copy his way of being or his things he does. Is it cool for you to go out and talk to girls? Cool. Then it's cool for it to be the case. You don't have to be like afraid of people knowing about that shit because you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, the very fact that you're worried about, and if you have these thoughts, you probably do. Most people watching this probably do. Like, oh, approaching girls isn't normal. It's creepy. It's weird. It's all these things. Those aren't your own fucking thoughts. Those are thoughts that society put onto you and that you decided to accept. You've accepted other people. You've given society power over you, over your own reality. You haven't gotten that because you approached 1,000 women and they all thought it was creepy. Unless you're really fucking creepy, that would never happen. You'd start having successes. You'd have women start saying, thank you for approaching me. I wish other guys, it seems to happen a lot with Latina women, especially. They'll be like, since I've been in America, like all the guys here are pussies. I've heard shit like that. Like, thank you for being more assertive. Thank you for being a real man. Like, are you even you're not acting like other white guys because they're usually bitches.
Yeah.
I've heard things like that. And it's because they've given up autonomy over their reality to social conditioning. Social conditioning, do you really think it wants you as an individual to be strong, to be in control, to be someone who's powerful, that doesn't benefit society as a whole. It doesn't make you a good consumer. It doesn't make you someone who's going to be able to work a 9 to 5 because you're going to be like us and have to have your own business. You're not going to tolerate that. So it's not that there's an agenda making this happen. It's just society naturally became that way because it functions best when it makes individuals weak, when it makes them look to others for permission. Because if everyone's doing their own thing, it's too anarchy, right? It's anarchy.
That needs less leaders than ever before.
If everyone was approaching like we do, the dating scene would be fucked. It couldn't be that way.
No.
But luckily, 99% of guys, they believe what society tells them.
Yeah, thank God.
They just don't make their own decisions. And therefore, when there's 1% like us, they have tons of opportunity.
Yeah. It's not everybody can win, which actually takes me to the next point. Understanding your own value. A girl doesn't want a guy at or below her in value. She wants a guy that's above her in value. So if you're the guy who is trying to supplicate to get a girl or is chasing down a girl to date him, who is she doesn't want the guy that supplicates to her. She wants the guy that she could feel like. So you're the one that dictates your value, not her. And that's something that like a lot of guys don't understand. So you dictate if you're sexy. You dictate if you're out of her league. You dictate if you're the one who should be getting chased. It's all you. You tell girls when you're sexy. It's not that you decide if you're sexy, and you do that by not being afraid of it. Like, have you ever called yourself a badass? Have you ever like told a person you're a bad motherfucker? Have you ever
told 100 times a day?
Dude, I tell girls all the time I'm a bad motherfucker. Like I'm like, dude, I'm
and also that you're bad news. That one.
Yeah, tell a girl
you shouldn't date a guy like me.
That's the best one though. But it's like it's like the fact that I believe in myself. I'm not just saying that either. It's like I believe in myself, and you have to believe in yourself before a girl does. So when you are putting yourself below her in value and thoughts and this or that, when you start chasing her, it's like you're immediately. It's like, have you ever chased a girl and then like the second you start chasing the girl, or all of a sudden you say this girl's special, then you lose her immediately. It happens all the fucking times because you put yourself below her in value. Like you're above her in value. That's the truth. So,
or you could say equal. You could be a nice.
Yeah. No. You're not equal. You're not equal. Not if you're gonna date this girl.
I mean, imagine if
if she's average.
Imagine if I approach a 10 and I'm. Well, it'll be hard to imagine, but I'll try to imagine you're a hot girl. If I approach you and I'm like, "Hi," oh man, she's way out of my league, and I'm looking away. And I am supplicative. If you have those thoughts, they're going to manifest in your actions. You're going to act like a bitch. You're not going to be able to hold eye contact. You're not going to be able to speak with your vocal cords literally constrict. I can hear the difference. Like I've had times when I was really stressed, your vocal cords literally constrict and you can't speak with as much power.
This is such a liberal response. This is such a liberal response.
Well,
I know you are, but I'm just giving you shit.
Like every year I get a little less.
Oh, here, have you ever seen the green line test?
What's that?
So it's like whenever they show a picture of like two couples leaning, like who are like dating each other, one's always leaning into the other and the other one's like standing straight up.
Yeah.
Like, are you ever the guy when you're dating a girl who's like, the girl's like hugging you, looking up at you like your daddy?
Oh,
and then you like do a sideways hug with her.
Never. I'm
like,
always
the
that
camera.
One. Yeah, for sure.
Like that's always the way that it should be. Like it's like if you have a healthy relationship, the guy is usually the chased one. It's like it's not when if you flip the roles though, and the guy's chasing the girl, it's a dysfunctional relationship oftentimes.
Yeah, so you're going back to the previous point where I was saying we could say it's equal.
Oh, that's you move past that.
Yeah. Right now, I'm not saying anything that disagrees with that. I'm saying that if you feel your value is lower than her, your body language and the way you talk, everything is going to reflect that. She's going to feel your lower value, and then you're going to believe it further. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you act like this girl, I could get 10 girls like her anytime. As soon as you think that, or what I'll think, and this might sound weird, but I'll think like, I want you when I approach a girl. I'm just thinking I want you, or like I'm assuming that she wants me too. And I'm just thinking about that desire. And then that channels in the way I act. And then I give her that laser eye contact. And then I approach her in a way where she feels that I'm dominant. That's another toxic masculine trait. And then she's automatically attracted. But what most guys do is they assume they're lower value than her, and then they instantly project themselves in a low value way, and they get rejected.
Yeah, I agree with that. Everything's subcommunication. Is the beliefs that you have like seed into your life. Well, here let's actually move on to the next point, so that we don't go over on time on this.
We're going 5 hours.
Well, part of being like understanding your value is also being content with single life. So a lot of you guys are chasing down a relationship. You guys will come to me and be like, all I want is a girlfriend or a wife. And a part of finding your top quality, high quality girl is like loving single life so much. It would take a bad bitch to get you into a relationship. Like if you want to settle, like I mean hardcore settle, like go for that. But if you want to really like cash out with a high quality girl who has a lot of options and guys herself, you have to love the single life. You like if you're chasing these girls down, you're like, thank God a hot girl finally likes me, and then you're like, come on, date me. Well, now guess what she's gonna do? Now she's gonna find you unattractive and start fucking around with another guy.
The idea that you need a relationship, that's something that society gives us.
Yeah.
Again, that
You don't need it.
It benefits society for people to be coupling up and to be starting families and everything like that. So we're programmed to think that. But the more you believe that, the more likely you are to settle for a girl you don't like at all. I've seen so many guys that had potential, they were having success, and then they like locked down the third girl they slept with, who was not good for them at all, and their lives went downhill. The idea that you're chasing a relationship, that you've decided you already need that's going to complete you, that will make any relationship you have toxic automatically, because you're using it to fill a hole. I guess in more than one way, but you're using it to fill a hole in your soul, right? And you need it to be happy. And as soon as you think that, you're going to end up supplicating, getting needy, starting acting like weird, and then you're too attached and you don't even enjoy the relationship. But if you're able to enjoy your life without a relationship, you don't need it. It's just something that icing on the cake. It might be cool if you find a girl that you want a relationship with. Then when you end up meeting a girl that you genuinely should be in a relationship with, then you'll be open to that happening.
Yeah. Well, everybody always gets mad at me whenever I bring this up, but there's really honestly no point in getting a relationship other than like, so people say for the kids, but I've seen people get equally as fucked up inside a relationship with parents that are still together and also outside.
You can also fuck up your kids, right? If you
fuck them up either way.
You get in a relationship, the wrong relationship with someone who's toxic and the relationship's toxic, you're going to fuck the kids up. That's worse. Like you should sleep with 100, 500 women so you can find one that you actually get along with and you're not toxic, so that when you do have kids, they're actually going to be well adjusted. Rather, you end up with the third girl that you don't have good chemistry with because you had no options. You got desperate. You clinged on to her and you convince yourself she's the perfect girl, even though she's actually a fucking succubus who's taking your soul out of your body. Not that I've ever seen this happen. If that is what you do, then you're going to end up messing up the kids you have anyway. So if your goal is children and kids, you need to run through a lot of hoes so you can find the one that will produce a good family.
Yeah.
You got to pimp it.
Won't cause any family woes.
Yeah. And I mean, toxic masculinity is also good for the family because I think you do need to have, someone has to have the leadership role.
Makes them feel protected.
If both parents are doing that in general, both parents are the decision maker and they're fighting about all these things, then there's no harmony.
Yeah. All right. Well, here, let's get on to the next point. So leadership. So being a leader is something that's not taught to young men. Being a leader is powerful. It's again, it's nice for us because there's a bunch of followers. It's easier than ever to be a leader. People like nobody wants to like be in charge because it's a very terrifying position. There's also a lot more willpower to expend on making decisions instead of just taking a back seat to the decisions. But
we're also conditioned to be followers. I mean, school, right?
Yeah.
School teaches you to be quiet, to listen, to not. There's no assertiveness, no leadership, none of that. It teaches you the opposite.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So if you're somebody who wants to get good with women, this toxic trait is actually honestly really good for you. Which this actually kind of coincides with dominance and being able to like just not being afraid to move things in a direction with fervor, I guess you could say. How would you describe dominance?
Fervor is a good word. Dominance and leadership, I mean, they're both very related. I think leadership is like part of being dominant. Because if you're dominant, you have to be a leader. You can't be like dominant and not lead.
It's also being disagreeable too, I guess you could say. Like
yes, I disagree. Actually, I think it's more important. So dominance and leadership, like most of the times when I didn't get a girl or a girl lost attraction for me, because I've seen it happen. So you see the light go out of their eyes when they liked you, and then it slowly fades away. And you're like, fuck, what happened? Every time I reflect on it, what was it?
You not leading the interaction forward.
Not leading in it. Yeah, I was not leading. I was being a pussy, basically, or being a bitch, and like expecting her to lead it for me. I remember there was one time when I was 19 on a date with an attractive girl, and then she got on my bed and we started massaging each other. She even massaged my ass, massaged her ass, everything. And then I told myself, all right, if she kisses me, if she kisses me, then she likes me, and then I'll make a move and try to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Didn't happen, right? Because I didn't have that internal leadership. And then after that, she pat me in the back. That wasn't what I was expecting. Never saw her again, right? Because I didn't lead. It's almost always that's what kills. Now, you might think, oh, well, girls aren't attracted to me in the first place. Well, if you're not leading, you're not trying to lead, you're not trying to move things forward, you're not making things man to woman, it might be that they are attracted to you, but they're losing the attraction. Nothing happens because women want you to lead. And look, if we get into a magical society where all of a sudden women are approaching men just as much as men approach women, women right swipe as much as men and message guys in the DMs and make the first move. Great. I won't have any issue with that personally, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So you have to take the lead. And yes, it's toxically masculine to do all that, but you're not going to get laid if you don't. So
yeah, which actually, again, takes us to the next point, perviness.
Perviness. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of also related to dominance. Perviness, being willing to let the girl know that you think she's hot.
That you have a penis, that you are a man to woman interaction, not just a friend to friend. Being able to actually express sexual intent to somebody. Honestly, that's just being honest. I mean, all right, so I've noticed this too with guys who don't have a lot of testosterone, who have not gotten good at game or have not gone out there yet. Virgins especially. You guys don't associate talking to a girl with sex. You guys are associating you and your privacy of your home and looking at your computer screen, and your brain is like, that's sex. You with your right hand, your left hand, depending on if you're left or righty. That's for you.
You're lucky both.
Yeah. So when you look at a girl and you talk to her, you're like, this isn't sex. And so you talk to her with absolute disinterest or no intent behind it. And I've noticed as guys will get better with game, their sex drive usually goes through the roof. They usually can talk to a girl in a way where it's like I will fuck you for a loan.
I think your brain just says there's a chance you're going to get laid, right? It's like I actually touched a woman. Oh my god, there's a chance, and then it starts sending sending energy down there.
Girls get turned on when you actually can express this in the right way. I mean, don't be the fucking even those guys, the creepy.
We're not saying guys, Trump grab him right by the pussy.
No, but even all right. So that is a very high risk.
High jail time
type strategy, but I've seen girls like it, unfortunately. Where we've had clients in the past. Remember that one guy about 2 years ago, we first started going out, when he would go out hard and you just be like, it's hello, and you just hug girls in the street, and some of the girls were really liking it, and he left and he took off with this really cute skinny brunette girl for a while in front of the CVS. We even got infield of it, and then he came. Okay. It was we thought he was a sociopath or something, or
probably was.
Yeah, but he was just like this, hello, and he just hugs her. And then we're like, ooh, I remember looking at him ooh, shit. And then we both start, then we this, we're start looking. And the guy's
it works.
And it started working. And she's laughing and giggling all over him and shit. I'm like, God fucking damn it.
I mean, you don't have to take it to that extreme, because if you're doing things that can make people really uncomfortable, that's going to cause problems. But there's certainly, most guys are playing it so safe that the girls, they don't know that you have male genitalia. They would be like, what? This is a man? I thought it was a they them. I thought it was a they zer be whatever. Well, I mean, very real gender. Sorry, CEO of YouTube. But that's what they're gonna think. And a lot of it is the way you can test this. Are you ever turned on when interacting with women? Do you ever actually feel turned on? Do you feel, tingly? Do you feel, other things that are, it's very clear. It's like, okay, I'm actually showing sexual intent because I can feel it. I can't put that into words in YouTube, but you can, use your mind. If that's never happening or very rarely happening, that means you're not being pervy enough, right? You should feel turned on when you see a hot girl and you see the shape of her body and you hear her voice and how feminine it is. You should be able to respond to all the things that you're attracted to in her femininity in a way that makes you start feeling aroused. And you should have no shame about that. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, obviously, if a girl shows disinterest, you pull back and you respect the rejection. Sure. But there's nothing wrong with doing that in the first place. And that is what will turn women on in the first place. That is what will turn women on, is being able to do that, is being able to look her in the eyes and project that energy of I want to bend you over, I want to throw you in my bed and put a hand, that kind of shit. Yeah. That energy is what attracts women, and men are so afraid of that women are like, I don't think he could even get hard with me. He wouldn't even be able to do it. Why would I go home with this guy? He's just going to be limp the whole fucking time. That's what they feel like on a subconscious level if you don't embrace your own perviness.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's a lot. All right. That's a lot for this video. I mean, toxic masculinity, very important to
Uh,
support. That topic.
yeah.
Do you have any things that you want to mention before you wrap the video up?
Yeah, just the big point of this is just be autonomous. Quit listening to everybody else. I know this is what the day of the internet, and so a lot of people we get this. We're having groupthink like never before, and unfortunately, groupthink isn't on your side. It's not on the side of the straight men, unfortunately, as much as we'd like it to be. It's very much kind of the cards are stacked against you. If you want to actually get good at this, though, you could put intelligent effort and stop listening to dumb fucks. Stop listening to idiots who don't know what they're talking about. There's very few people right now currently on the internet that can actually give out good advice. And even some of those guys are just kind of blinded by their own doubt or fear of like the machine itself chewing them, eating them, and spitting them out because everybody's against this actual advice, this hard hitting real advice that's should be honestly helping out millions of people.
Well, it goes against the standard narrative, and we all have something called a confirmation bias, which means we like things that confirm what we already believe, and we feel uncomfortable, cognitive dissonance when we hear something that goes against it. That's different, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to want to accept, and so everything we're saying is going to create, it's going to create that cognitive dissonance that go against the confirmation bias, and if you're able to realize that, then you might listen to some of the things we're saying, but you can also just listen to Alpha M and buy his cologne, and then I'm sure women will start approaching you.
Yeah.
You're welcome to do that. But we actually have receipts. We have infield. You've been posting makeouts on your channel. Been posting new infield. I've got new pulls on infield. I'm going to be showing the girls I'm pulling, showing full interactions, showing taking girls home, showing makeouts. I'm going to be putting that out all up on my channel. You can subscribe to. I'm sure there will be a link below. To do that, and make sure to be subscribed to his channel because we're actually going a little bit beyond just selling you watches. Yes. I'm just going to hold the silence. The lights are starting to hurt my eyes.
How long till this gets awkward?
It already has.
Oh, okay. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like the channel. If you do want to subscribe to my dumb face, definitely could do it.
Punchable face.
Punchable face. From fathers mainly. But yeah, that's pretty much we're gonna leave it right here because we may or may not go out today. We're trying to fill that one out. I've been getting off of being sick, which is why I'm sitting so close to him because I'm trying to take him out along with me.
Thank you for that.
So then both of our channels will suffer, not just mine by itself. But yeah. I guess.
And if you want to really master toxic masculinity, you can take our toxic masculinity boot camp. 3 day. It's not a special boot camp, but all our boot camps are toxic masculinity boot camps. Take a 3-day boot camp, get in-person coaching with us so we can actually guide you through the process of being the toxically masculine man that women actually desire, that women are actually attracted to. And so that you can start getting some dates, starting getting laid, and, bringing us back to like the 1940s when men were men and women were women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. Jesus Christ.
Click the link below to join our toxic masculinity boot camp.
All right, we can end it there. I think it's a good place to leave it.
All right. Let's see how great the comments were today. Oh, 30 girls rejected you. Oh no, that's so many. On the Wingman app, groups of girls are hard to pull. One girl, blah blah. Man, this one guy is really saying a lot. All right. We went over